All right. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the last Veg of December and 2022. We are so glad to have such a bright ray of sunshine that is about to cook up some magic here for December as our very last event this year. This is Chef Artina Lindsey. She is the executive chef of Spartanburg Medical Center. She works magic with flavors. Those of you that joined got the recipe already, so you got a little sneak peek of what she is about to do here today. So we're just really glad that you took time out of your busy holiday schedule to join us, Chef. And I admit that I have gotten to try this recipe before. It is mind-blowing what she has been able to create to taste like and look like fish, but with beautiful Asian flavors. Asian flavors are certainly her specialty.
Yes.
And so she will tell you a lot more about the ways that she's layering these different flavors to give this dish all of the deliciousness that it will have. So if you give it a try, since you have that recipe, let us know too. My name is Carrie Stewart. I'm the registered dietitian and coordinator of the Heart Resource Center. And again, thank you for joining us. And I'll let Chef take it away. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat. I will be monitoring that, probably chiming in, asking Chef a few of my own questions because I'm really curious to see how she actually prepares this. So take it away, Chef.
Well, thank you, Carrie. Thank you for that lovely welcoming. It's great to be back with you guys on Veg Edge. I hope we've had a phenomenal year. We've been very busy at the hospital and beyond, but I am so happy that I get to close this year out. I did this recipe for Carrie during it was Blue
Okinawa.
Zone. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Blue Zone. So every year they have a small group, and we talk about blue zones within the world. And blue zone countries or continents or countries or even specific cities that have the lowest rates of heart disease, diabetes, that people live longer lives, and we attribute a lot of that to their diet. So I was playing around with some things, trying to kind of come up with a fish recipe for a good friend of mine. So after looking at a bunch of stuff and kind of trying different things here and there, I came up with this, and it's actually very, very simple. Of course, a lot of these ingredients I always have in my cabinet, and as Carrie said, I really specialize in Asian cuisine. Part of that is because I grew up in the Philippines, so I love Asian cuisine, and I love being able to veganize some of my childhood favorites because my babysitter happened to be a chef. And that day and time, I'm not gonna tell you how old I am because I'm still fine, but uh, she was a chef running a kitchen of men, which is really unheard of, especially in that community, which is great. Even though the women did cook, she was running a major restaurant in the Philippines, which was amazing. And lo and behold, look, I became a chef. So I'm really excited about this. I was kind of like, I don't know if I should do this, but it actually is very, very simple, and anybody can do it. I made sure you guys had a recipe. I'm going to do as much of the recipe as I can. Anybody knows me, I do not work off a recipe, but I wanted you to have some foundation. That's what a recipe is. It's basically the foundation work of how we get there. There's a couple of ingredients that I'm going to change because I realized that I did use some of these things when I do prepare it at home, but I'm going to show you what it is. But if you don't use those things, the recipe is amazing. Okay, so don't dismay the recipe. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna take my watch off, but I just want to go over some ingredient bases here so we know what we're doing. Um, in order to get the skin for the salmon, we're gonna use Nori sheets. Okay, so these are already pre-cut. You can get the whole one and cut it yourself. You can get them at Asian markets. They sell it at Publix or Ingles or wherever you do grocery shopping. Sprouts. They have this perfect little seaweed snack. And seaweed is full of minerals, jam packed with minerals, and it's natural. So you can get some minerals in using this. Okay, we're going to use tofu now. With the tofu, It's already in the bowl. It's already ready. So you just take a extra firm tofu, or you can use firm as well. And the trick is that you need to drain it. So either you use a tofu press. I have a tofu press, but you don't have to use a tofu press if you don't have those things. You can use a clean bar towel, put some paper towels in it, and the old-fashioned way, just press, and you're good to go. Okay. So I have that already ready for you, and then sweet potato. Look at all this nutrients, beta carotene, and all this other great stuff that you're getting from this recipe already jam-packed with loads of flavor, and it's going to be good for you. So this is about a half of a sweet potato. And what I just did with the sweet potato, I just threw it in my air fryer with the skin on and then just peeled it. No mess, no fuss, right? And then we have some other accoutrements here like beet juice. This is grapeseed oil. We're going to use this. We are going to use a little bit because we are going to fry it. So this is a treat. This, if you're trying to do low oil or whatnot, you can use spray, and that's fine too. Just want to make sure that you spray your pan very well so that it doesn't stick. And then this is I don't generally consume refined sugar at home when I cook. So this is actually organic coconut sugar. Now you can use raw sugar, whatever you got in your cabinet. I just happen to use this because this is what I have in my cabinet, okay? And then this is dark sweet soy sauce. Now with the dark sweet soy sauce, you do need to go to an Asian market to get it because I haven't found it in any of just the general stores for just grocery shopping. But I tell you, you put this in your accoutrements for all your other things. It'll last you a long time. Okay. Then we also have some mirin here. Then we have some rice wine vinegar, and this is some tamari. And I like to use tamari because tamari is soy-free, gluten-free, because we're already using the soy. And some people are a little sensitive to soy, which I understand. So kind of want to control what we can control. And one of the ingredients that's not on the list, guys, this is actually vegan fish sauce. Of course, this is definitely, a little treat. This is made actually out of seaweed and some other items as well, but it also helps to give our vegan salmon that fishy taste. So I did remember that I did add this when I did make it at home, and it's not on the recipe because this recipe actually was used for a competition, and we had, of course, we had certain rules to abide by, and this was definitely a little too excessive. So even if you don't use it, we're still going to get that flavor. Trust me, we will. Okay, so to start, when you do this recipe, I have found that the tofu, it works better if it's room temperature, and that your sweet potato is room temperature or warm, not hot. Please make sure it's not hot because you're going to cook the tofu prematurely, and like with the carryover cooking, and you won't get the same effect. And we don't want that. We don't have no money and no time to be wasting food, especially as high as food is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to get set up here, and so we can get things rolling, so I can show you how we can achieve this vegan salmon. I hope everybody's doing well today. Okay. And it's really easy to do. It's not really costly at all. And I'm gonna start heating up my pan here, my saute pan. It's really easy to do. It's not a whole lot of ingredients, as you can see. And if there's something that you don't like, you can definitely swap it out. I'm not really a beet person. I've really tried. I just don't like beets.
Me neither. I'm trying to.
And that's all
like
we can
do. It tastes, yes, I just got my food share box.
And there's beets in there, of course.
Do you want to know how many beets there were? There were probably at least 10 beets. I was like, why is this box so heavy this month? It's because of all the beets that were in there. And I went, no, secretly on the inside.
All right.
I did try to roast them with a sweet potato to kind of level them out. And then we made almost like a vegan Cobb salad. Mm-hmm. So I had a little bit of beet and a lot of other things.
Right.
And sometimes, but it's still not my favorite. So we'll keep working on it together.
Yes. I'm not a beet person. I'm sorry. I've tried different variations, colors.
Yeah.
I've done all kind of applications. I just don't like it. Now the beet juice in here, you can swap out for carrot juice. You know, if you don't have that, you can use carrot juice as well. The main purpose of the beet juice is really to kind of add, to give it that color that you would see. So that's the whole purpose with the beet juice. And then also we're going to accomplish some of the color also with the sweet potato. So this is a half of a sweet potato. This was I'm going to say this was a really large. It wasn't a really large because some of these sweet potatoes are like huge. So this is a large sweet potato that I said that I baked, and I only used half. And this is about 8 ounces of firm tofu. Okay. And all you have to do, and I'm going to use my hands. You guys use your hands. Don't be afraid. I have gloves on only because it'll just make this process a little bit easier. Okay. And all you have to do is just get in there and work it. You know, had a hard day at work. Work off a little aggression, get your workout in, burn some extra calories while you're making your food.
I would have never known that that's what was in it. That was the base of it.
Sweet potato?
Yeah, and tofu like that. I would have never known that. Wow. Darlene shared with us that chocolate cake with beets is a great way.
Oh, really, Darlene?
I might try
why you gonna mess up a good dessert with some beets?
I know, it's such a pretty color. Such a pretty color. All right, that might be one I have to try.
Yeah, that's different. I think you could probably, I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, the beets, I can pretty much filter out that flavor, and I'd be like, that's that dirt taste to me.
These ones in that food share box were fresh too, so
yeah. Did you get any golden beets in there? Or
they weren't golden beets, but I do tend to like the golden beets a little bit better.
Yeah.
They seem to be a little less
earthy. A little bit more sweeter.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually use a bigger bowl. I brought the smaller bowl because I was trying to be cute for y'all, but I usually use a bigger bowl now. So what you want to do is you want to get in and get it well incorporated and mixed up and broken down as much as possible. That's why it's important that you have it at room temperature as far as the tofu is concerned. And then it really helps if the sweet potato is warm, not hot, but warm. So it's warm to the touch. It's not going to burn you. You're not like, type of feeling. See, look at that. And then you just kind of get this really pretty, and it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? But you want to get it well mixed. So now the sweet potato is adding that extra moisture that you have taken out of the tofu by pressing it. And it also gives it that binder too as well. So we're not using any eggs, we're not using any flour, just regular old sweet potato. Okay.
Chef Darlene would also like to tell you mabuhay, I think is the way I'm pronouncing it correctly. Does that sound right?
What you say?
Mabuhay, Mabuhay.
Okay.
Which is a Filipino greeting.
It is.
Which
now
literally means
I don't speak any more Tagalog. Most of it I have forgotten. But I do know that term too. Greetings.
I was like, is that a term for chocolate cake with beets?
Hey, honey bunny. So now that we have everything kind of just all nice and together and formed up here, get a nice little shot of that. So it's going to be more like almost like a wet, sticky, crumbly. I won't say really wet, but it is wet. But like a moist texture. But we're not done yet. We got some more stuff to add. It doesn't matter what order that you put the liquids in, just as long as you put in what you need to put in. So this is tamari. You can use soy sauce if you have soy sauce. Use soy sauce. You know, I'm a fan of use what you got. If you don't have something, then it's okay. We will be all right. And so that was about a tablespoon, not a tablespoon, about a teaspoon of tamari, and mix it in. So now we have, what I love about Asian cuisine is that there's always a healthy balance of all these different flavors. So it's like literally like a party in your mouth. So you have something savory, you'll have something sour, you'll have something sweet, you have something salty, and then you'll have something fresh, and you'll have something cooked and, fried. So all of these wonderful flavors, it makes your mouth extremely happy because your taste buds are just going nuts. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? So the tamari is going to give it a little bit of that salty, okay? This is rice wine vinegar, and y'all know I don't measure, but on here, I think it says it's about half of a tablespoon. And then we also have mirin, which is wonderful. It's kind of like it's like a sweet seasoned rice wine vinegar type of thing. Now you have a little bit of sweet. You don't need a whole lot of this. I generally don't like to use a whole lot. Then we're going to add our beet juice. You only need a couple of drops of the beet juice. You don't need a whole lot of it. Because like I say, it's mainly for the color. But then you don't want to overdo it because you have the beautiful orange from the sweet potato.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed. You definitely, when you start paying attention to the salmon in the store, a lot of times you see that color added for additives for color retention or something like that. And that's all it says. It doesn't even give you any more description than, well, what are you adding? And it's not 100% natural beet juice. I think we all know that.
Yeah, well, if they've done a study that some of the natural flavorings actually come from different parts of the animals, like beavers and it's not really hard to find that information, but that happens to be what's going on here.
I feel like you notice that with the frozen salmon a lot. There's, you look at the fish and we expect salmon to be this beautiful, bright pink color because that is what fresh salmon should look like. But then it's not always super fresh. So they're adding these additives to keep the color for longer, which is like,
Now, while we were talking, I did add a little bit of raw sugar. Also, on your recipe, it's asking you to add cornstarch. I had already kind of added the cornstarch. I tossed it actually with the sweet potato. So the cornstarch you can leave out because I've done it both ways. It's just the cornstarch makes it a little bit firmer.
Okay.
If you want it, a lot more firmer with the pull part.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why we have the cornstarch on there. But I have done it both ways and it's successful both ways. So now, as you can see, this is our mixture. And what we're going to do is we are going to add it to our nori sheets, our salmon skin, if you will. And we're going to put the mixture on there, and I'm going to show you how we put it together. Now, while I'm putting this together, I have a saute pan over here, and I have it on medium heat. And this is grapeseed oil. You can use whatever oil you have. Just make sure it's a neutral oil. If you want to use sesame oil, you can. But I'm just going to say that it's going to change the flavor of what you're doing a little bit if you use it. And if you like it, I love it. You do what you feel would be best, okay? But I like using a neutral oil for this so that we can get all of the flavors that we need to get, right? So we take a little bit of the mixture and we just spread it on our nori sheets. And the reason why I like to use these because they're already pre-cut. So everybody can, I don't have to, the other ones I normally have to cut, which is fine if that's what you have. But generally, like for little parties or little moose boost things that I might do, I like to use this because it's quick and easy. I can have everything already lined up and just go. So you want to put on a nice portion, but not too much. On my saute pan, so that means it's nice and hot.
Yeah.
It's nice and hot. And you just kind of just put it on here and you kind of spread it out. I mean, this is so, it might have my kids doing this
Yeah, it's a great activity.
for them, you know, because they like to get their little, have them wash their hands first, but they like to do little stuff like this. You know, we make Friday night is pizza night. You know, that's what we do. So I always have the cauliflower um, pizza dough's already ready, and we
Aw.
I have all the toppings that they like. I should say a topping because one is just cheese, really. And so we'll have the vegan cheese and all of that. And you know, it's interesting. My kids aren't 100% because I have a 5-year-old and 7-year-old. So my kids are not 100% vegan. But I do make better choices for them with the stuff that I know that they'll eat. Pizza happened to be the one that they actually like, right down to the vegan pepperoni.
Mm,
Go figure.
yeah.
So we really try to do that, and then I'll try to do some kind of smoothie to sneak in sea moss gel, elderberry, whatever else I think that they need in this season,
Yeah.
vitamin C,
Mhm.
all of those wonderful things.
Now, a quick question
Yes, ma'am.
is the sauce different from the
Yes.
sauce that goes into the salmon mixture?
Yeah, I
Is
add
it
it is different, but it's almost the same as the sauce that we're gonna put on top,
okay?
that we're gonna cook down and put on top. It's just it's really not a sauce, it's just kind of like adding a little bit of extra love to make sure we get the desired result. So you're using soy, you're using tamari. I did not add salt because I added tamari, so I felt like that was enough salt. You know, the soy was enough salt, and I added a little sugar to balance it out too as well.
Okay.
All right.
Because yeah, that's what I thought. There was going to be a
Yep.
sauce that goes over
There's going to be
everything
it's
too.
it's
Okay.
a little glaze that goes on top.
Mm.
I think Carrie's more excited about this than anybody.
Man, you know, when the kitchen,
Yeah.
I always talk about smell-o-vision in here, but there's no place I'd rather be than in the kitchen with you, chef. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Juice me up before the holidays, why don't you? Anybody got any questions? It doesn't have to be about the recipe. If you got some other questions that you'd like me to answer, I'd be more than happy to answer some questions.
Yeah. Ron was just asking about the difference in the sauces. So
Yeah, that's what it is.
or I guess
We're gonna put a
similarity
really
in the
pretty
sauce.
glaze on top.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna put a pretty glaze on top. And that's just gonna add more layers of flavor because it's all about layering the flavors. Okay, so now we have our little vegan salmon. And to create skin, you can use well, I'm not gonna say create skin, but to kind of create the scale like, I usually use a knife. So you can just kind of score it a little bit because I want you guys to see the difference.
Madison wants to know if you won the competition.
I was a runner-up last year. It's a healthcare no harm, which is a national competition. It's like 200 hospitals that participate in this. Not to say much, but to say much. When you're talking about food in hospital and having to repeat it multiple times, sometimes, especially what I do, could be a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And we have a great we got a great team here where the CEOs and the VPs, a lot of them believe in healthy cooking and food, and they're very passionate about it. So you have a lot of support system. My direct boss is very supportive. I can buy whatever I want, and he's not going to blink about it. And so that I can push the plant-based vegan notion forward.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular menu that you guys have was just submitted last month, so I won't know until like March of next year. Because what they do is they have a whole team They actually give the recipes to culinary students, and they have to repeat they have to actually cook it, and they have to cook it for 4 people, and then have to cook it for 20 people, and then they have a panel that comes in and taste it. I'm always number 1 in taste category. Always, right?
I believe that.
But it's just, I know that some of the things that I do is a little bit more complicated than probably what they want to get into, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yep.
Love the question. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, now this is the tricky part, y'all. Normally I put a piece of saran wrap or parchment paper while you're working, because what happens is that the nori on the bottom gets a little wet from the moisture from your mixture, okay? So it becomes a little bit difficult to pick up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually put our salmon in there, and I don't hear the sizzle I need to hear, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit higher. I use medium heat, but I have a gas stove, so if you're using an electric burner, you might want to kind of turn it up in between medium and high. But I have a gas stove, so that thing is hot. So we're using a flat burner, so they don't get as hot as gas. So you have to adjust your heat according to what you're doing here. Okay. When you get your vegan salmon in the pan, make sure you move it around so it doesn't stick. And what we're looking for is we want to get the bottom nice and crispy, just like fish, except it's not. Okay, see, there we go. There's a little sizzle. Okay. Don't overcrowd your pan.
Ron is following along, and he says his looks good.
Okay.
He hasn't got to cooking yet, but
I want to see some pictures.
yeah, Ron, you definitely need to send us some pictures.
Awesome. That's even better when the plan comes together, right?
Yeah. I know. So far, I feel like I could do this.
You can do this, Care Bear?
I think so. So
this
far.
Ain't hummus.
So
She'll never live down this hummus, y'all.
No,
I was mortified, but
that's why I need chef in my life.
Please call me. Don't ever despair. Please call me. So while your salmon is bubbling and cooking, now it's vegan now, it ain't real salmon. But while it's bubbling and getting ready, we're gonna start the sauce, okay? And this is where I use a little bit of the vegan fish sauce actually in the glaze. You don't have to, but I like to have that little extra flavor.
What's the base of that?
Seaweed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seaweed.
Okay.
From the sea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fish eat seaweed.
Yeah. We wanted to taste fishy,
but we're just getting it from the actual source.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so I let this cook. These are a little bit smaller. Right when it's crispy around, when you start to see it start to crisp around the edges, that's when you want to do a good flip. But you want to wait. Don't get impatient. Just wait for the food. It'll come. I always have a hard time on these induction burners because the temperature is not predictable.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We're going to make it work. I can make it work. We can make it work. We are in a hospital, so we can't have open flame. That's part of the reason why we in this setting we have induction burners or a flat top electric versus gas. I think that's important because a lot of people are like, why don't you guys have gas? Because we got live oxygen here. That's
Yeah,
why.
just a couple safety regulations.
Oh, uh-oh. We lost one. That's okay.
Luckily, you made a couple.
Right. All right. There we go. There we go. Cooking with some grease, as my mother would say. I hope everybody's going to have an amazing holiday. I am definitely taking some time off to spend with my family. It's been a tough year for a lot of people, including me. And my dad is visiting from Illinois, which is amazing because this is going to be his first Christmas with the boys in my home, which I purchased 2 years ago. So it's we're gonna have us a good time. I am making vegan beef Wellington.
Ooh, with lentils, mushrooms, both? No, neither.
Oh,
Probably
you talking
way
about the
fancier.
inside?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because we have mashed potatoes with it.
Okay.
Gravy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna use mushrooms,
Okay.
but I'm using blue oyster mushrooms.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
So I'm gonna use mushrooms. So
Yum.
I am really excited because I'm not gonna shout out this company that sent me this stuff because we check first. But they have this plant-based beef tenderloin thing, and it looks like me. I'm gonna give you the information off
Okay.
there. It
Wow.
looks like, feels like, and tastes like beef. Now, okay, for some people who are gonna be like, oh, well, you know, that's not technically vegan. I get you, but this is a treat because it is the holidays.
Right.
I don't normally consume stuff like that, but because you know my dad's here and I want to show out a little bit, so I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do this beef Wellington, and I've got this vegan puff pastry because I don't
Nice.
bake.
Yeah.
We had a whole conversation about that with the marketing rep here. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't bake. So I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna have mashed potatoes. We're gonna have this lemon roasted fresh asparagus. Gonna
Ooh.
have oh God, what else did I say we were gonna have? We're gonna have the
Use mashed
gravy.
potatoes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make mashed potatoes, but I'm gonna make I think my dad's gonna want sweet potato, but I just want regular mashed potatoes. I'll probably
Do both. Yeah.
yeah,
do it
well yeah,
big.
I'm gonna put that sweet potato in the air fryer
There
and
we
then
go.
mashes stuff up,
Yep.
do that. And then, I'll cook for the kids because they're not gonna eat that. I just know my little ones like, ooh, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll cook for the kids and
It's a process.
Merry Christmas. Yes. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
definitely. Erica said to let her know what time it's ready and she's going to be
Oh,
over at your house. Yeah.
So we're gonna continue to let that. We want to get this with a nice brown color, and I'm gonna turn the heat on so we can start the glaze too. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it smells great. One of the really interesting things about seaweed is, it is salty. It has natural salt that comes from the ocean, but it's particularly wakame seaweed and nori as well have been shown to help lower blood pressure. And that's one of the scientific things we still don't quite understand what is happening and why, because you think you're eating this food that has a lot of natural salt in it, it's going to increase my blood pressure.
Right.
But one of the things that the scientists have proposed that they think is what's happening based upon trying to study that is that the seaweed is so high in potassium, so it starts to release the potassium And in our heart, we have these channels. They're called sodium potassium channels. So those two electrolytes bounce back and forth all day long. And so what happens is there's so much fiber in the seaweed as well that they're seeing the fiber absorbs the sodium, and then the seaweed releases the potassium, and that is how it is helping to lower blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
Still. So anytime you get a chance, that's another thing that I've been learning to like as well. You know, your taste buds turn over about every 2 weeks or more.
Mhm.
So just keep trying it and try it in a different way. And, you know, I used to not really eat seaweed salad at restaurants because I had it one time and it was really fishy tasting to me and I didn't love it. And then I tried a bite of it that came with a side of something else I had one day. It wasn't fishy at all. It had that beautiful sesame oil taste to it. I ate the whole thing. It was delicious.
Mhm.
So you just never know. And so seaweed is really one of those that obviously, especially in Okinawa, Japan, one of the blue zones,
Yeah.
they go out there, they pick their own seaweed right out of the
Right out of the
ocean,
ground.
and they prepare it. So you can't get any more fresh than that. And so there's lots of different types similar to mushrooms we're talking about, lots of different types. So just experiment and see if you can find a way that you like it. Look at those.
Yeah, we had one. We lost one, but it's okay. We eat everything around here, even the crumbs.
Yep.
We waste not nothing.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm sure Care Bear got her to-go situation
I was
again.
about to say, you know, my to-go boxes are at the ready. Not even that. I got my plate ready to go.
Okay. Now, the sauce. It's very quick. No, I didn't want to have it up that high. I don't want to burn it. Okay, so according to the recipe, you guys, so it has the dark sweet soy, tamari, raw sugar, or whatever sugar that you have. I told you I have this coconut brown sugar. There's a little bit of mirin and rice wine vinegar. Okay. So we are going to, this is the dark soy.
Are there any gluten-free substitutes that you know of for that?
With the tamari?
For the dark sweet soy?
You can, what you could do, and this is a hack. You could use the tamari and add some agave nectar to it.
Okay. Yeah, it almost looks like it's
just
like a soy sauce reduction.
It really is. That's what it is. That's all
okay.
it is.
It looks
that was rice
syrupy
wine
from
vinegar,
here.
everybody.
Okay.
And then the tamari, and then the mirin. Okay. And remember, I said we're going to add a little bit of the couple of drops of this vegan fish sauce, but it's not necessary. It's my own little thing here. And once you if you purchase this, you can find, I've seen it every once in a blue moon at Publix, but I normally just order it offline. One of the things I'm loving is that a lot of people, you know, who make food are making more things for us, you know, like dressings and marinades and just different things like that to kind of help us make our food along, especially if you're just starting out vegan, trying to transition to veganism. There's a lot of information out there, but there's also a lot of misinformation out there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the wonderful thing that I love about Veg Edge. Carrie keeps me on my toes about, you know, maybe nutritional facts that I don't know. I really try to stay up on my nutritional parts too, because I do help people transition also through my company. So I do believe in this lifestyle because we were just talking, me and Carrie, you know, we're catching up because I hadn't seen her because I've been working a lot lately. Mm-hmm. And I have hypothyroidism. Me changing my diet, not to include dairy and meat, with the extra hormones and all the other extra things that are in our food, especially meat and dairy, I feel better. I have the energy that I'm supposed to have. And I was on medication. I'm still on some medication because I've had a whole thyroid removal. But when I tell you it's like 5 mLs, it's so small versus 175, which was what I was taking. So it's worth it to invest in yourself. It really is. I want to be around. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see my kids get married, maybe become a grandma when it's time. No, not now. But they're too young anyway. But still. Yeah. Not now. I want to be around. So I have to take better care of myself. So.
Yep, that's so important. And it definitely makes it more fun when we're all trying these things together.
Absolutely.
So one of Ron's broke apart too, but he thinks he scored it too deep, making his
making his line. Yeah, mark. You just gotta just do it gently at the top, because otherwise it's gonna cut in half. It's okay. It's still edible.
Yep.
It's still edible.
Yep. And he also found the dark sweet soy sauce at Food Lion.
Did you?
Buried in the middle of the other soys.
I have never seen it at the grocery store. Yeah. And I'll be looking, y'all, because, if I don't find it at the grocery store, that means I got to call good old Amazon and get it off Amazon.
Yeah. I was recipe testing not too long ago, and I needed orange flower water.
Why you didn't ask me? I have it.
Oh no! I should have known you would have had it. I only needed a tablespoon or something. I didn't even think about it.
I have a bottle of that.
Of course you do. Well, I went on a good adventure finding it. So I had it on Amazon that I had ordered because I wasn't sure quite where to get it. Then I realized that I didn't choose one that had the Prime 2-day delivery, and it wasn't supposed to be there until 2 days later. So that was going to be too late. So then I did a little Googling, and I learned that in Greenville County, there are now 2 Middle Eastern grocery stores.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked right in there, and I called the one place. I asked if they had it. She said, absolutely. I walked in there. The very first thing on the top shelf, right when you walk in, is the orange flower water. And then there was rose water underneath of it something else. Yeah. I don't even know. But it was delightful. It was just fun even going in there. So
I have both of them, rose water and some orange. I mean, now you have your own, but you could have called me and asked me if I had it. I have all the specialty ingredients.
Yes.
Because Mark, he's a little bit of a food guru too. So
yeah.
He tries to play like he's not. So he'll be like, "Hey, I brought this for you," and I'll be like, "Oh my god, where did you get it?" Like he bought me mace. Okay. You know how hard it is to find mace now? It's virtually impossible. So he got it from one of those specialty stores.
Okay.
Yeah. So he'll.
I was going to say, I have seen it recently, but I've been in a lot of random stores recently too, so I don't know where I would have been, and sometimes it is, it is more affordable. That was the crazy thing to me. The bottle of orange flower water, I think, was $1.99 at the store. I was getting ready to pay $8 to $10 for a bottle with half the amount of ounces from Amazon.
Right.
And so you can just walk right in there and support those local people. Why not?
Absolutely. So our sauce, now when you do your sauce, you just want it to cook down and till it becomes a little bit of a glaze. And if you want to know what that is, it coats the back of a spoon. And what, in culinary terms, we call it nappe. So now we're going to try to gently, oh Lord, try to keep it from getting broken. We're going to gently place our fish, vegan fish that is, on our plate. Whatever it is that you're going to eat it on.
Oh man.
I'm trying to keep it from breaking. So they can have their shot. The money shot. So, and then you're going to put your glaze on. That's it. While it's still hot. So all it's going to do is soak in there. And you don't have to use a glaze, but when I tell you, it takes it from 100 to 1,000.
We know it's already at 100. It didn't need any sauce, but
yeah, caught it. And this is Nori furikake. When she was talking about Nori furikake, this is basically what we call a rice seasoning. It's got sesame seeds, Nori furikake, black and white toasted sesame seeds, and I make my own, so I add some other ingredients to it, but the basis of it is still the same. So we can add that to there. And then on my plate, as you can see, we have the ginger rice, which you have the ginger rice and vegetable, which you have the recipe for. But we wanted to do the magic of TV cooking and have it already ready for you guys. So if you just follow the recipe for that, you'll have your ginger rice, your vegan salmon, your vegetables, and then it's like bon appetit time.
A full happy belly.
And this is just some extra ginger because I'm a ginger fiend. I like ginger. So this is a little bit of extra ginger, which is great for digestion health. I know when I was pregnant with my second son, I was chewing on ginger chews like anybody's business because I had extreme nausea, morning sickness really bad with my second son, and that actually did the trick for me. So I absolutely love it. So
I love ginger too.
Yeah,
and I love ginger with sweet potatoes and soy sauce. I love that combination.
And there we go, you guys.
Thank you so much, Chef.